Now, what is an array? Array is nothing but it's a collection of elements which has a similar data type. Okay. So now this is how we need to understand. Now let me show you. This is how the array will be. Okay. Whatever the value this is, let's say the value is 10. Now let's say my value is 20. Next 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and this is 8. Okay. So let's say that I wanted to get a value of 50. Okay, so how we can get the random value? Any idea on how we can get the random value? So it will be based upon the indexes. Okay, so what is index? So here I have to give, so always do remember that array index will start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is 7. Okay, so now if you wanted this 50 value to be printed, so what is the value that you have to enter? A of 4. So now when I ask you to print A of 4, what happens? 50 will be printed automatically. Clear? So similarly, if I ask you to say A of 2, then what is printed? What is the current value of A of 2? It is 30. A of 30 is printed. Next, similarly, if I ask you to print A of 6, what happens? Yes, 70 is printed. So now let us write SRC. Let us create a program package for arrays separately. Okay, so what is the uppercase? First letter should be lowercase for package. So let's say if I give uppercase, so what is happening? It is throwing a warning stating that the first letter should be of lowercase in the package. Okay, so what I need to do now? I have to remove the uppercase, give us lowercase. Now, why you are getting this in a white square box? Because there are no programs in this arrays package. So I'll say new class. So let me say array example 1. So now if you observe, it is saying usually start with an uppercase. So what usually start with an uppercase? Class name should usually start with the uppercase. Clear? Okay. So now let me write regarding the arrays. So this is how you normally initialize. Int a is equals to new int of. Okay, what is this value? This is 5. Okay, so what is this? Int is a data type. Why I gave int as a data type? Because I'm giving 5. Okay, so what is this 5? Size of an array is 5. I'll say a of 0 is equal to 1. A of 1 equal to 20. A of 2 is equal to 30. A of 3 is equal to 40. Now I'll be giving a of 4, which is equal to 50. Okay. Done. So I got size is 5. So this is 0 is first element. What is this? This is the first element. Next, second element. This This is the third element. This is fourth element. This is fifth element. Okay, so we did not waste any space here. Clear? Now let's say I want the value of 40. So what I need to do? I'll be using A of 3. When I use A of 3, what is the value that you need to get? You should get 40. Now let's run and see what is output. You're getting 40. Now let's say that you need a value of 10. So you should print A of 0, where you'll be getting 40 and 10 as your output. Okay, so similarly, I want all the values that are given from A of 0 to A of 4. So what I should say, I'll be giving A of 0 is done. Say A of 1, then A of 2, then A of 3, then A of 4. Okay. So now what is a 0? That is expecting, we are expecting is 10. What's the value of A of 1? It is 20. A of 2, 40. Next, A of 3, 40. Next, A of 4, which is 50. Let's see what are the values that we are getting. See, are we getting the same values? 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, fine. When we are having only 3 values or 4 values, you will be able to write the println statement multiple times. But what if I ask you to enter till 20, 30, or 500 or 5,000? Correct. You cannot write println statement 5,000 times. Forget about 5,000 times. It will be difficult for you to write 20 times itself. Because you'll not understand what is the value that you are entering. Maybe the value might be repeated again, right? You have to validate with a lot of things. So for that, we have the looping statements that comes into the picture. So can you tell me what is the looping statement that we can use here? So here when I'm saying A of 0, A of 1, okay, so this 0 will be referring to A of 0. This 1 will be referring to A of 1. And this A of 2. So what is the 0, 1, 2 referring for? All of these are index. Okay, index value is I. So now let's write the example 2. Array example. So how we are writing this array example 2? By using the looping statements, correct? Because if it is 5 or 4 or 100 or whatever, so we have to write it using the for loop. Yes. Okay. I just forgot this statement. Here. Now, I wanted to know the length of it. So system dot out dot println. What I have to do if you want the length? See, when I say A, right, it is stored all the values of A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. Where all of these are stored inside A of. Correct? So I'm using A dot. When I say dot, all the predefined methods that are applicable will be printed. See, A dot clone equals hash code to string to get class, everything, wait, notify all. Okay. But I want the length right now. See. So I'll say A dot length. So now what is the length according to you? It is 5, right? So let's see what is, see, 5, because that is what you gave here, and all of this are giving you all the elements. I'll say for int I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to, you can say a dot length I dot out dot println length, print the value of array. Just run as Java application. Now see, you're getting what is the length is 5. 5 is printed. Next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 is also printed. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 is printed. But here it is saying array index out of bound exception, because you are trying to print some another value. So yes, so when you'll get this exception? Now, let's say you have only 5 as a size, but now let's say I'm also trying to give a of 5, which is of 60. So what is this? This is sixth element, right? But what is my size? It is only 5. But when I'm trying to give 6 elements, then if you observe, it will throw array index out of bound exception. Why it is throwing array index out of bound exception? Because when I gave size, array size as 5, and it is saying you gave only array size as 5 and you're trying to enter the sixth element over there. Okay, so here if you observe, it is showing the line number also. Where is the line number? This is 16. Here is what you made the mistake. Okay, that is how it is showing. Here now just comment this. Also comment this if required. Now run this. You also don't require to run this. Now what should happen? 10, 20, 30, 40 will be printed. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40 is printed. But when I gave size, I have commented the last one. Okay, so that is why we are getting a 0. So why are we getting 0? Because we did not give any value. Okay, so the default value that you'll be getting is 0 in arrays for integer values. Okay, if it is string, then you'll get it as null. When you have only one statement, you don't have to close the looping statements and open the looping statements also. So when I say equal to, so that is how it is causing the problem here now. It will print only the values. 10. What is the current value? 10, next 20, next 30, next 40. And I have given 50, but this is in commenting state. Right? So it is thinking that I did not allocate any value. That is the reason it is taking 0. So why it is thinking that it doesn't give any value? Because it is being commented. So the lines that are being commented or which is in a green color will be ignored by the compiler and it will not allow that to be printed here. Clear? Any questions? Okay, so this is how we usually give with all the different kinds of elements. Now, if you want me to use it for string, so how we can do it for string? Same, we don't have much things. String arrays. So as it is a number, we just used integer. But if it is a string, then what we are supposed to do? Instead of integer, so we'll be giving string. Okay. I'll say string a is equals to new string. Okay, so now when I say string is nothing but it's a collection of characters, right? So hi. So here I'll say welcome to HKR Trainings. Okay. Yeah. So now just run this. So for loop, what are the two brackets that are open here? One is for the class, one is for the main method. Okay, so one was for class and one is for main method. Just run as Java application. See what is it throwing? It's saying hi, welcome to HKR Trainings. So let's debug. Here we don't have to keep any value debugging points. Okay. But still let us debug. So debug as okay. So it is sorry, it is when going into the folder. So debug as server. So now if you observe, it is here inside the string. So what is the string A? Do we have anything? It says all the values from 0 to 4 are null. Why? Because all these values are not yet allocated. So now if you come, what's the current value? See, A has been updated to high. Next, if you go again down, it will be updated to welcome. So next, you'll be having it as welcome. Now, if you observe what happens, so just try to look at the values. Welcome to. Now, what is the third one? Let's say it should be HKR, right? So just mouse over, you'll able to see it as HKR. Okay, next, trainings. Then you are able to see, hi, welcome to HKR Trainings. See here also, it has been updated. Now it is checking in the for loop. Just step over ahead to see the values. So I value is 0. So 0 is less than what is the length? 5. So 0 less than 5 is true. So when 0 less than 5 is true, so what should be printed? This high should be printed. Okay, now high is printed. Then again, I value is incremented. So now it says 1. So 1 less than or equal to 5 is true. So what happens for A of 1? It is welcome. Next, again, value is incremented. It is 2. And then 2, what is 2? 2 is there. It will be printed. Next, again, the value gets incremented. Then what's the value? It is 3. So what's the value of 3? It is HKR. So HKR is printed. Next, again, it goes to 4. And again, if it is 4, training. So training is printed. Next, again, it goes. As we don't have anything, it will pause here. Okay. Hi, hello, welcome to HKR Trainings is your output. If it is an integer, you'll be giving here with int. If it is a string, you'll be giving here with a string. And if it is a number, here you'll be giving a number where it is not enclosed with a double quotes or single quotes. But if it is a string, it will be enclosed with a double quotes. If it's a character, so replace string with a char, CHAR, and it should be enclosed with a single quote. Clear? Okay. Now, let me show you with some another example on arrays. So in this arrays, you'll be having two kinds of arrays. So what are those two kinds of an array? One is multi-dimensional array and the other one is single array. Okay. single dimensional array and two dimensional array. I hope you already know about 1D array and 2D arrays, right? So 1D array is nothing but one dimensional array. 2D array is nothing but two dimensional array. Okay, so this two dimensional array is also called as multi-dimensional array. Okay, so now when you know the size, you are using the size, stating it as new string of 5. Clear? But when you don't know the size, and if you wanted to give, then this is how we need to. So arrays without specifying the size. Size using for each. Okay, make sure that using for each loop. Okay, now, so how we have written this, int a is equals to new int of, so you just specified the size here, correct? Now, I don't know whether I have to give only 5. I'm not sure about the requirement. Let's say now in the training which I have taken, let's say I have only 5 students. Okay, so one is A, one is B, one is C, D, E are my student names. So I'm entering 5 sizes, fine. But I don't know in the next batch how many students will be entered. Okay, so I'll say int A array, right? So let me give something like this is equals to, this is how we'll be giving the size 10, 20, 30. Okay, flower brackets. Done. This is by specifying the size. This one without specifying the size. Here now, if you are using for loop or for each loop, so what were we doing? So system.out.println. Okay, I was trying to take the length of it, right? Then again I'm saying for int I equals 0, I less than r dot length, then I plus plus system.out.println, we'll be getting a r of I. Correct? So this is what we did previously. Now let us see what we'll be getting as an output. So you are getting array.length, which is 10, 20, 30. So how many elements are there? Only 3 elements. Okay, so 3 is printed. Array.length is 3 elements, which are 10, 20, 30. Next 10, 20, 30 is also printed. But this is using for loop. Okay, so what is this? I is equals to 0 is initialization. AR.length is a condition, and this is an incrementation or a decrementation operator. Okay, so now I'm just commenting this. So how do we comment this? / asterisk, and then this is what I need to asterisk and slash, where I'll be giving comment for all of these lines. If it is multiple lines, this is how we need to comment. Okay, if it is a single line, you'll be commenting like this. And then Java. Clear? Okay, as you don't have anything to be printed, all of these are given in a comment, so nothing is printed here. So I'm using for each loop. So for each loop, you don't have to initialize, you don't have to give the condition or increment or decrement operator is not required. So where are we storing our values? We are storing our values in AR, right? So now what am I doing is all of these AR values, I'm trying to throw it in I. So what is the return type, data type? It should be integer because they are the numbers. So I'll say int AR system.out.println. I'll ask to print a r of I. Okay. So now what is this AR? So AR values are 10, 20, and 30. 10, 20, and 30, right? So all of these 10, 20, and 30 will be allocated into the I variable. So now what is the I values that are holding? Same 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so if you come down, then it will be printing all the values 10, 20 and 30. Just debug it. Run as Java application. You'll be getting all the values 10, 20 and 30. Okay, you're getting array index out of bound exception. And you know why you're getting that? Okay. Now just run as Java application. So you're still getting array index out of bound exception. So any idea on why you're getting this? Have a smaller and a closer look, you'll understand. Class name is given, you did not have to specify the size. And you set AR 10, 20, 30. 3 elements are given. And I said AR values which are there will be allocated for I. Okay, then I'm just using the system.println. Then I'm saying this values, I values to be printed. Okay. Now just see. So what is the I value? As I don't have AR of to be printed, so I can it will directly print the values of I, 10, 20 and 30. Clear? What is the declaration of arrays and all, right? So can you tell me what is an array? So array is called as a collection of elements with a similar data type. Let's say now if you wanted to use only the data that belongs to integer, so you're supposed to give only int as data type. If you are giving only for strings, then you have to give string as a data type. If it is a character, you have to give it as a character. Okay. So now let me show you by using our code in Eclipse. So we just saw one-dimensional array as well. So we'll be seeing multi-dimensional array. Okay, so what are the benefits of an array? That you can take whatever the elements that are required to you. Okay, so here it is. Let's say that you wanted in the index of, if you want a value of A, okay, so then you have to give A of 4 so that you'll be getting a value A will be printed. Let's say if C value is required, so you'll be using A of 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are something called as index. Okay. So now 200, 201, where this has been stored. Okay, the values where it is stored, it is called as a memory location. So these are the values, 200, 201 are the memory values where it is stored. So yesterday we saw this, right? Array example, like how to print each and every value. So next we also saw if there are multiple, if 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 is fine. But what if you have more than hundreds of values? So in that case, we are supposed to use this for loop. So what's this? Initialization. This is the condition. This is the incrementation part or a decrementation part. So here I just specify the size called as 5. Okay. Now without specifying the size, because sometimes you don't know what is the requirement. Now, as you know that we are only 5 students, let's assume that you need to enter only 5 students details. So you are giving 5. But what if you don't know the count of students? Okay, so then we'll be using this 10, 20, 30, something like this. And then this is how we use using a for each loop. So whatever the array values are there, these are 0, 1, 2, right? So array of 0 is 10, array of 1 is 20, array of 2 is 30. Now I gave I is equals to 0, I less than of array dot length. So what is array of length is 3. I asked to increment the value, so 10, 20, 30 will be printed. So this is basic, this is called as for loop, basic for loop. Okay. and then you'll be called, then you'll say it as for each loop, advanced for loop. So this is for each. Okay, where whatever the AR values or the array values 10, 20, 30 has been stored in this variable, right? So I just use this variable and I'm just dragging all of this, copying into this variable called as I. Okay, so what is the data type? If it is 10, 20, 30, the data type will be int, right? So now I'm just using system.out.println. That's it. So you'll be getting, what is the output that you'll get? It's 10, 20, and 30. Okay, and then similarly, now as it is only regarding integer, we just tried with giving a data type as int. That is fine. Now, if it is a string, how to do if it is a string? So here instead of integer, we'll be giving string a is equals to new string of, but though it is a string, you also need to store the values, right? So how can you fetch the values? Based on the index values itself. So I gave for int I is equals to 0, I less than a dot length. Okay, all of this will be same. Just instead of int string will be changed, and here the string is nothing but it is a collection of characters, right? So for giving collection of characters, it should be enclosed with a double quote. So that is the reason we just gave this. Clear with this? Hope you are clear. Okay. So now I'll just show you the program on how you can add the sum of array elements. This is a class sum of array elements. This is a program. Okay. Okay, so let me say int a of is equals to same new int of. Okay, so now what is the values that I need to enter? Any values. So 100, 200, 3, 4, 500. Okay. Clear with this? Now, here this is saying us that we can store any number of elements. Here you can give 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and not only that, 6, 7, 8. It can go on. Okay. So here you don't have to write new int of because you're not specifying any. Clear? Now, my point, let me write it and show you on the paint box so that you'll understand what is my requirement. Okay. So now, let's say all of these values have been stored in this. Okay, this is an array. So 100 is stored. Next 200, 300, 400, and then 500 is stored. Okay. So what is the index value of 100? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I want all of these values to be printed, which is from 100 to 500, and also the sum of this. Okay, so what does 100 plus 200 gives? It gives 300. So 300 plus 300 will give you 600. 600 plus 400 will give you 1000. And here you'll be getting 1500, right? So now I want the sum of all of this, where you'll be getting the value as 1500 is your sum. Clear? That is our requirement. So let's see how we can write. So to make, I'm just declaring the variable called as sum. So I'm just initializing the value with 0 here. So in the for each loop, int I. So what am I doing? All the a values has been thrown into I variable. Clear? So system.out.println of I. Okay. So now let's see what is output that you'll get. 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. Okay. Why? Because 0, first 0 has been, till we did not use this sum variable. See, if you observe here, it is throwing some yellow color, right? Which is saying that this variable is not yet used. I'll just mouse over C. The value of local variable sum is not used. Okay, so for that reason, now we are supposed to use the variable as well, right? So to use this variable, what we need to do? So I have to add this 0 with all of these values. Okay. So in that case, I'll say, what is the sum value? Sum value right now is 0. So I'll say sum plus, what is the I value? Whatever the A values are stored. So what is A of 0? It will be 100. 100 will be stored here and 100 is been printing here. Next, again it goes, what is the next value of A? It is 200. 200 will be stored in I and 200 is printed. Next 300, next 400, next 500. Okay, so similarly here I'll be saying sum is equals to sum plus I. When I say sum plus I, what is the current value of sum? It is 0, right? So 0 plus I. So what is I value? First I, it is 100. 0 plus 100. Okay. So next again it goes up. Next again it validates. So next again plus 200 plus 300 plus 400 plus 500. Okay. Let me debug this and show it to you so that it will be clear. Okay. So now what is the value? What's the current value of I? 100. Okay. Because it is a first value. Next come down. So if you observe I value 100 has been already printed here. Clear. Next again go. So now what is the sum value? Sum plus I. So what is the sum value? 0. So 0 plus 100. So just mouse over 100. 100. And then what is the I value? This has been printed and it is stored in sum. So what is the sum value? Sum is 0. 0 plus I, which is 100. So 0 plus 100 is stored here. Next. So now I value is 200. Then again 200 is printed. Okay, we went inside the class. That's fine. Okay, just step over. See now 200 is printed. Next again it comes 300. See what's the current value of I? It is 300. Then again just go 300 is printed. Next again 4. Next 500 is printed. Okay, what is the sum? Right now sum is 1000. Next again it goes up and now 500 is already added. Okay, so when 500 is added, okay, it is not showing anything. But now it will show sum as 1500 here. Okay, so when 1500 is done, it will exit out of the loop. But what was our requirement? You need the value of sum to be printed. So why you are not able to see? Because you have to use it here. Okay, just use run as Java application. Are you getting this? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, all the values of arrays and the sum of array. Okay, so instead you can say sum of given arrays Okay, so this is how you can use it. So now you'll have an idea. See, this is sum of given array elements, which is 1500. 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, 12 plus 2 1400, 1400 plus 100 is giving you 1500. Clear with this? Okay, so now we saw on how to declare an array, how to store elements in an array, and how to read the elements from an array. How we are reading by using this for and for each loop. Okay, so how to store elements without a limit. This is how we were using. Okay, now let me tell you, like 500 is already used, right? So I'll give 600. So now you have to get 2100, right? So let me. They'll be getting 2100. Okay, 600, then 700, next 800, next 900, next 3000. Okay, wait, you don't have any limit. Okay, now observe this. What is the value that you're getting? See, given array is 5500. Correct? Clear? So which means we don't have any specified limit for this. That's the reason we can add or remove any particular elements. Okay, now this is clear to you, correct? For example, let's say we just saw storing all the arrays, we are using only either int or either string, correct? In the string, we just used only the string values, and in arrays, we just used only the int values, correct? And if it is char, you can also say char a is equals to new char of, and then you can give all the values that can be printed. If you want, let me show you some small code. Char c is equals to new char of. Okay, so this is how we can give. And now, okay, instead of char c, let me make it as a. B, C, D. Okay, so this is how you have to give it. Now, why you're getting an error? Because you did not specify any size. Clear? This is how you need to do for char run as Java application. Now let's see. See, you're getting. I don't want only one data type. What if I need all the mixing of elements? Okay, one I want integer, one I want character, one I want string. So how to do it? Okay, so this is how you are supposed to use. Now, let's say we don't. We don't require using only one kind of a data type. I want to use all the different kinds of data type, right? So how we can use it? If you want to use different, so there is some class called as an object class. Okay, so how we can use this object class? How we can use the object class? Any idea? Okay, so let me tell you how we can use this object class. Okay, this is a mixing of all the data types. So similarly, how you give for char, string and all. Okay, in a similar way itself, we are supposed to use the object class. So let me give an example. Object class example. Okay, so in that case, how we can do it? Object C is equals to new object. Okay, so what's the object size? Let me give you 5 or 4. Any size can be used. Okay, now you're getting this error because O should be uppercase. or else you can just mouse over on it so that it will automatically change. So A of or C of 0. We just gave C here, right? So you're supposed to use C itself. C of 0 is equal to 10. Okay, so C of 0 is 10. Now, if you wanted to use for the string or for the character, so A of 1. So what's this A of 1? I'll give some float value or double value, something in the decimal point. Okay, then again I'll give C of. So what's C of 2 value? I'll give string. Welcome. Okay, then I'll give C of 3, which is a character. Okay, and you can also give the Boolean value. What's the Boolean value? You can use true or you can also use false. So as we have given C, you cannot give A. Okay. So C. Now, what we did previously, instead of object class, we just used, if it is an integer, we just used integer. If it's a string, if we used only string, right? So now if you wanted to loop all the elements, what are we supposed to do? C. Okay, I'm just keeping all of these elements in I. Now, should I use in? If I use in, rest of the data types, you'll be getting only one, which is 10, but rest of the data types are different. So we have to use object class. Okay. Now, just ask to print system.out.println. What are we asking? Print the I value. Okay, why I value? So all 10, 20.5 welcome is true. All of this will be printed in the I value itself. Okay, so run as Java application. Okay, see all the values have been printed. Okay, this is helpful when you are trying to enter some employee details or student details and all. Clear? Any questions on this? No, right? Okay. Okay. So let me show you multi-dimensional array as well. Now this is a single dimensional array, right? So when we are talking about two-dimensional array or multi-dimensional arrays, one and the same. Now let me show you. Here I have a value called 10. Here 20. This is 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay. So now this is the rows value, column value. So 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Right. When I ask the value of previously what we have done, if I say A of 0, you'll be getting this 10. If I ask a value of A of 1, they'll be getting 200. As we have rows, these refer to rows. Okay. And this refers for columns. So when you want these columns and rows, so you are supposed to use like this. A of 0, 0 is equals to 10. A of 0, 1 is equals to something like this. Okay. This is how we are supposed to use values. Now let me show you how we can write some code for dimensional array. Okay. So giving spaces is not a valid scenario in this. Okay, so don't give spaces for class name. So when you're using 2, right? So which refers one for rows and one for columns. So I'll say int array is equal to new in. Okay, so let's give some size specified for this. So 2 rows, 3 columns, 3 rows, 3 columns, something like that. Okay, let us give 3, 3 itself. 3 rows, 3 columns. So now ARR, so we have to allocate the values. So what are the values that we have taken here? So let's use the same. Okay, so 2 rows and 1 column is what we have taken, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So let's use the same thing. So 0, 0 is giving you 10. Array of 20. Sorry. Six. Okay, what is that? 0, 0, 0, 1, and then 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so 1, 0, 1, 1. 2 zeros, 2, 1. If you want to add, you can add whatever that are required to you. But right now we are using only this. Okay. So now if you wanted to print, what you can directly say system.println, print all the values, or else you can directly use the for each loop. Correct? ARR. So what's this? This is an int data type, right? Int. The system.println now. I is what we need to use. So why are we getting this message? This is a kind of an error that we are getting. Okay. So cannot convert from element so and so this to this. So we have 2. Is this the right way to use it? Do you think that this is the right way to use it? No, right? So now I'll just show you with a for loop and you can try to use it with a for each. Here you're supposed to use it for, I'll say int. What are the row values? It is still 1. Okay. So if you observe 0, 1, 2 are row values and 1 is a column values. So now I have to say int from where we are supposed to start 0. I less than or equal to 3. I plus plus. Okay. So when the outer loop is correct, like 0, 0 is correct, then it should also enter into the 0, 1. Okay. So for that, inside for loop, we are also writing this j is equals to 0, j less than or equal to 3, something like this, and then again j plus plus. Okay. So we don't want, let me get this j plus plus. Then try to print the values. System.println array of I, and then this is j. Okay, so give some space now. So all of these are done right now. Let me show you by running. See, observe this. You got 10, 20, and then again you got 0. Why? Because 0, 0, okay, 0, 1, you got 20. But you gave here till 3. right? So that is why you got 0. Next again, 1, 0 is 30, 40. Next again, the third element did not give anything, 0. 50, 60, and next you did not give anything, so 0. And then here it is saying array index sort of one exception because you gave only 3 and you are trying to enter some more values. Okay, so let's give this only 2 rows and 1 column. And when you want this to be with a space, now let's run this. Okay, it's saying array index out of one exception, index 1 out of bound for length 1. Okay, so now how are we supposed to write this? So 3 less than or equal to 3 is not so. So we just used only 2, and here also we just used only 1. So j less than or equal to, give it something like 1. Here you can give more. That's not a big deal. Okay, whatever the size that is required to you. So when I say 2 rows, 0, 0, this is already done. Correct. Next 1, 1. Next 2, 2 is already done. So 0, 1. Now run as Java application. It is throwing an error stating that it is on the line number 10. Okay, just because of this. Let me give 3 and then let me give 2. Okay, so this is how you're getting 10, 20, which is for only 0 rows. Next again you're getting 30, 40. Next again you're getting 56. Okay, so now this is by specifying the size. So how to do without specifying the size for multidimensional array? I'll just show you how we can do that. Without specifying the size. So how did we do without specifying the size? I'll say int array is equal to 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now where are we getting this yellow color mark? Which because of the variable that is not yet used. Okay, so now I'll say for int I equals 0, less than or equal to 3. I'm trying to increment the value of I. Then again same with j equals 0, less than or equal to 3, j plus plus. I'll just show by debugging so that it will be more easier to you. Array I j plus give some space. Okay, so then after this, why are we getting error? Because we did not specify this. Let's debug. I'll just show you how it works by debugging, then it will be easier for you to understand. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So just remove equal to. That is why you are getting the problem. Now just run and see this. So you'll not get any problem. But to validate the spaces in between them, after the for loop, we can give the statement system order println for the space. Okay, so this is one matrix, this is one matrix, and this is another matrix. So if you now I told everything to be printed in each and every line. So that is why we are getting this. But I don't want to print in the format of this in the line. I want in the matrix format. So remove ln and run this. This is how we will be getting the values. See 1, 2, 3. Next one is 4, 5, 6. Next one is 7, 8, 9. Clear? So now let's debug this and try to understand the logic. Just come down. What is the current value of I? It is 0. So 0 less than or equal to 3 is true, right? So now when it is true, it came down. So it is in J. So what's the value of J? 0. So 0, this is also true, right? So now 0 is true and here also it is true. So what is the value of 0, 0? This one, 1, right? So now it will print this 1. Next again, if it goes up, so it will be in the inner loop itself. So 0, 1. So what's the value of 0, 1? It is 2. Correct? Then again it is going loop. Okay, so again now J value is 2. So 0, 1, 2. So 0, 2 is giving you 1, 2, 3 is done. So now again I told less than 3. I did not say 3 less than or equal to. Okay. So less than 3 means 2. So yes, the condition is true, and when it is becoming 3, so condition will be false. So it will exit out of the loop. Okay, done. Next again, now I value will be incremented by row which states I as 1. Okay, so 1 less than or equal to 3 is also true. So now it says 1, 0. Next, come down. Okay, so what's the value of 1, 0? It is 4. So 1, 0, 4 will be printed. Next. So next 1, 1. Okay, so next 1, 1 value will be printed. So which is 5. Next 1. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Next. Again, same, again coming out of the loop. So next it will be increment. I value will be incremented. So if you observe what is the J value currently, I value is 2, then again J value will be 0. So 2, 0 it will be giving you 7. Next 2, 1, 8, 9. Okay. So done with the printing statement. So 7, 8, 9 is done. So if you observe here in the 19th line, the line has been highlighted because it has done exiting the loop. Clear with the multidimensional array? Any questions? So when you'll be getting array index out of one exception, when the given size is more, okay, so let's say that you are trying to enter only 3 elements, but you are trying to fetch the value of 5th element or 6th element, then it will throw the array index out of one exception. Okay, let me show you with a small, simple one. We gave size as 5, right? So let me keep this. So when it is size of 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, here itself, the 5 values have been entered. But this is the 6th element. Now it will throw the array index out of one exception. Because you are running out of the size which you have specified. So when you are specifying the size of 5, so memory will give only space for 5 where you are supposed to store only the 5 values. Okay, when you are entering the 6, it throws an exception. Okay, clear with this? Array index out of one exception. And if you are not giving any particular value, let's say I'm just commenting this A of 4. So what happens defaultly, it will throw 0 for integer and null for string. See, you are getting 0. Now, if I comment this also, what do you mean by commenting the lines? If you are commenting the lines, the compiler and the JVM will ignore whatever the things that are present. So now it doesn't have any value inside the A of 3. So it will print 0 and 0. Hope you are clear with this arrays. Any questions? Okay. So let's say now addition of two matrices. So do you have any idea on how to add? Let me show you. Okay. So let's say that you have this. I think you already know about what is a matrix, right? So 3, 4, 5. So this is one matrix. Okay, so plus this is some another matrix 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 1. Okay, so this element should be added with this. This element should be added with this, and this one with this. Okay. So this is the addition of matrix. So what happens in the addition of matrix? Let me show you. Write the logic for this. I'll just show just addition of matrix, and you can try for multiplication of matrix. So what is an array? It is a data structure where it is a collection of elements with a similar data types, and the index starts with 0. Now this, let's assume that this is my A matrix. Okay, so 1, 3, 4. Okay, and let me give something like 3, 4, 5. Next. So you are done with A matrix. So let's give the B matrix. In B. When we're talking about matrix, right, you'll be having rows and columns, right? So one, A will be referring for rows and B will be referring for columns. 1. Let's give me this B4, comma, 3, comma 4, comma 5. Okay, we got 2 commas here, that's why it's throwing an error. Now, so what do you need in the C matrix? Addition of this is nothing but A of whatever the I row J column plus B row I column and J column, right? So now 0, this 2 plus 1, 3 will be added. So 3 will be one matrix, 3 plus 4, 7, 4 plus 4, 8, 3 plus 8, 11, 4 plus 2, 6, something like this. Okay, so this is the C matrix that you'll be getting. So to get the sum, this is how you'll be writing the code for sum matrix. Let's say that int sum matrix is equals to A of plus B of. Is this the right thing? So now how many values that we gave? There are only 2 rows, right? So I'll say int array is equals to new int of, and then I'm just specifying the size, stating that 2 rows and then 3 columns, correct? Because 1, 1 and then 3, 4, 5. Clear with this? So now I'm just looping the statement stating int I is 0, I less than or equal to 2, I plus plus. Then if the outer loop is correct, then only it will enter into the inner loop. So I'll say int j is 0, j less than or equal to 3, and then say incremental. Okay, so now we just gave the values. So if both of them are correct, so we are supposed to use the sum, right? So I'll say sum row column is equals to A of row, then column, then say B, I, C. Clear? So now system order println. So what's the value that you have to get? Is the sum. Okay, so sum of ith row, j column, and then just give some space in between them. That would be fine. Now this loop has been done, so system.out.print. Okay, so now let's observe what it says. It is saying 2, 6, 8, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so you're getting array index out of 1 exception the 19th line here. I got it. Why you'll be getting array index out of an exception? Because you are trying to enter and fetch the more values within the specified size. Okay, so here you can give, now you will not get any array index out of one exception. Okay, 268, 6810. But this is not the matrix format, right? So I'll be removing this ln. And now let's see. Here, 268, 6810. Similarly, if you wanted to add another row, you can add it here by giving indices equals to. So then you'll be facing the third line also. So here you have to write plus C of I of J. And then use some another column, another loop for that. So we are done with arrays tilted. Okay, so what is an array? We are done with this arrays, single dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. This is how the multi-dimensional array is all about.